Hello, good time of day to you. Welcome to episode 1001 of Patrick Alexander's World of Content. I'm your hero, Patrick Alexander. First, an apology. I know that you trust me deeply, but in the last episode, I mentioned, just casually, off the cuff, almost, actually no, it was scripted, that these Copic Ciao markers, Ciao, are not refillable, but they are. I felt very, very certain and confident that these are not refillable. They are refillable. Here on YouTube, I'm sure you can find 100 videos of them being refilled and see that with your own eyes. And I'm deeply, deeply sorry. I'm not that sorry, but you know, I am sorry. Blah, 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 blah. Today, we'll be watching another coaster drawing. Of course, I already told you about the whole coaster project, and we talked about the Marvy Le Plumes and the Kuretake Bimoji already, didn't we? So today, let's just get straight into it. There will be a little tool talk afterwards, specifically about these and these. But no talking during the drawing, just music, relaxing music. The music will get louder, but it starts very quietly, so shh, shh, let the magic begin. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. No, don't close your eyes, because you're going to watch a video. Don't close your eyes, but take a deep breath. Shh, let the magic begin. Shh, whoosh, 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 whoosh. Fuck's sake. Oh, hang on, we could do a funny gag with that, couldn't we? Hang on. For fun! Welcome back to hell. Did you enjoy that little excursion through fields of pure, uncut Elysium? Did you enjoy the music? I hope so, because I made it. It's called The Coming of the Snail God, and it's on this very soothing album called Relax, Will Ya? You can download it or even get your hands on one of these very limited, handmade CD copies. Even a couple of color variations available, as you can see. If, you enjoy pleasure. Links below. Oh, sorry, hang on. Links below. Towards me. Below. Now, I don't have the original coaster anymore. I've sent that off. It's in the hands of one of my Ko-fi supporters. So we'll be looking at this oversized and slightly dodgy-looking off-color printout. It's a bit mauve. I think I've before printing that I've done a bit of white balance correction, and I think overdone it. That's why it's good to print sometimes. Anyway, let's take a look. This time, as well as using markers and pencils and Poscas, you'll have noticed I also incorporated pens into the colouring. Specifically, these, the very popular Zebra Sarasa Clip fine ballpoint pens. They come in a great variety of thicknesses. I favour the... Oh, hang on. Where's one with more contrast? I favour the very fine indeed. Oh, hopefully you can see that. The 0.3 size. I accidentally bought a set of 0.5s not too long ago, and while they're fine for writing letters or taking notes, they excrete a line too chunksome for those of us working at the molecular scale. And yet some chunksomeness was unavoidable because I also used these. The Zebra Sarasa Clip MarbleColor gel pens, innately somewhat globby and only available in 0.5. As you will have immediately recognized these are that type of cool pen that changes color as you write. And I do say write because obviously that's the proper use case for these. Since writing flows more or less from point A down to point B, and the gradual color change becomes clearly visible as you do so. Creating a sort of subtly uneven gradient effect across the page that looks, and I hope you won't accuse me of hyperbole when I say, pretty nice. Whereas, when you're drawing or inking a drawing, you're doing bits all over, sort of, a little bit here, then maybe a bit down here, do this corner, a little bit here, go up here, over here, fill in that bit that I left before, and so on. And the changes in shade within the mere 2 or 3 colors inside the pen are going to be sort of broken up and mixed together across the page and even out to something that appears almost uniform. And I know this because I tried it when I first bought these pens. One moment. Here we are. Just a little Tobias and Jube sketch. I splashed some watercolors on it too, as you can see. You can see, compared to the page of writing, where, although it's very subtle, this particular pen, you can see up the top, it's sort of bluey green. It gets a bit greener around here, then sort of goes back to that kind of deeper, what could we say, cyan-y, and there's little bits of purple kind of coming out. Then it gets a bit green again around this point, and sort of finishes on a fairly light yellowy green note at the bottom. I don't know how well that comes across on the camera, but it's definitely there. Whereas on this picture, it looks like I've just used a colored pen. You can't really see that there's any difference in color throughout the line work. If you look really closely, you might notice here and there like a tiny bit of purple kind of popping out, sneaking into the line here and there. But that's if you're really squinting and doing sort of microscopic forensics on the picture, which, most people just looking at a picture aren't going to bother with, are they? Because why would you? To get a really perceptible color changing effect in a drawing using these, what you'd want is a lot of dense line work, so like a big area of hatching, for example, and you'd have to remember not to jump about the area as you naturally might, filling in corners and whatnot, but to put in all the rows of tiny lines as evenly and straightforwardly as possible from A to B. Might try that on the back of this. It's quite nice paper. How about, let's see, we've got some green and orange and yellow in here. It'll be light, but that might look good. Or should we go orange and purple and pink? Maybe this one. Okay. Now it's a fish. It was going to be a blob. Now it's a fish. Right. I've just decided the fish is crying because of pollution. in this case, I have to admit I was surprised at, with this pen, how rapidly the colour changed within a single stroke. And I wonder if that might be something to do with how the colours in this particular pen out of the factory happen to be oriented within the barrel. You can see there's a lot of kind of vertical action in this one rather than sort of horizontal separation or more mixing. Nonetheless, you can see throughout this that there are, if you look closely, although the strokes might have purple, blue and pink, orangey pink within a single stroke, nonetheless, some of the strokes are more sort of majority purple and some are much, much pinker. And you, I think, can see that across the drawing, that there are these kind of, uneven and subtle, but there are these kind of gradients. You can see the colour change, I reckon. The point is, of course, where's my coaster printout? Where did I put it? Oh, hang on. It's on the other side of this. I got it into my head to try this sort of thing in these two areas, the treetop and the night sky around the moon. And that's why you saw me, especially around the moon here, sort of continually rotating the canvas as I was inking, because I needed to follow a path, like over here, sort of from here across to here, but especially here, in this case, a spiral path from A to B, or however I did it, I don't remember exactly. In the end, and I know this is a printout, but it gives the impression at least, you can see it probably wasn't worth all the effort, despite all the hatching. These areas, remembering the real size of the coaster is about, that wide, not that wide. These areas are simply too small for the color changing effect to really have a chance to kick in much. Maybe it did just a tiny bit around the moon. It's a little bluer here, a little purpler here. Maybe. But the person who received the physical artwork for this might notice a little bit of variation in texture and color in those areas if they look at it from different angles. And that's not nothing, that's something, I guess. A bit of subtlety is nice. By the way, before I put away these regular Zebra Sarasa Clip pens, I should mention that although they are extremely pleasant and smooth to draw and doodle and write with, they are not absolutely waterfast. That's something I keep forgetting because I don't go around pouring water onto my sketchbooks or throwing them into ponds. But if you do happen to splash a few drops or have sweaty hands, I've just dipped my fingers in some water there, the inks may smudge or dissolve a little. This is very thick paper. I'll try on some regular, just printer copy paper. Boing, boing, boing. Yay! So let's let's try the spit test. Yeah, you can see that smudge. And a splash test maybe. Why not? I'm just going to pour some water on. Actually, that's not so bad because I haven't rubbed it around. I mean, that's buggered the paper, but when the paper dries, that'll be warped. But actually, I think the ink wouldn't be too affected by just pouring water onto it. Yeah, I think it's the spitting and rubbing that was worse. So, yeah, sweat and rubbing might not be great for these inks, but as you can see, not catastrophic. As I say, if you do happen to splash a few drops or have sweaty hands, the inks may smudge or dissolve a little, and exactly how they dissolve is going to depend on the type of paper you've used. Probably your travel diary or lecture notes are not going to be completely erased if you get caught in the rain and your bag gets drenched, but it's something to be aware of. While we're at it, let's do a water test on these MarbleColors too. These have dried, but this is the thicker, nicer paper. Let's do some on ordinary paper as well. Oh wow. That's nice. Orange and green and yellow. Yeah, kind of tropical vibes, which is not really the vibe I'm into a lot, or indeed at all, personally, but I got to admit, that looks nice. Pum. All right, and we'll let that dry for a minute because, yeah, you know, these are gel inks. Okay, so spit test. Oh, wow. Okay. Yikes. Wow. Lord Almighty. That's just gone. How about on this paper? Normal copy paper. Oh, wow. Almost as bad. Plus the paper is beading, of course. Right. And how about a water splash test? You'd think this wouldn't be a problem for Mr. Fishy, but I got a bad feeling he's not going to like it. Let's have a look. Ah. Yeah, see, if it's just spilt on top, you know, that'll warp the paper, but let that dry and evaporate, and maybe the drawing would survive. Oh, yeah, a tiny bit of smudging, I reckon, but physically smudge it, and whoa! I mean, if you accidentally draw the wrong thing, you know, you're just daydreaming, looking out the window, and you look down and you've accidentally drawn a swastika on your furry commission or whatever, and you need to erase it. Well, now you know how. If you're using these gel pens, oh no. That's why Mr. Fishy is crying. I somehow knew his fate. Good Lord. This is thick paper, of course, but even on the normal paper, look at the underside of that. There's not really, like, the drawing is right there on the other side, and there's not really any show through, water or spit or otherwise, you can see. Whereas if I draw with the regular Zebra Sarasa Clip, I'll just scribble, 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 scribble. you can see, oh, I mean, maybe you can't see, but I can see. There's a bit more show through already, but especially with a bit of spit, a bit of water. Oh, too much water. Let's dry that up. But I mean, you can see the difference in the amount of show through, even if that dries. In fact, I'll go and dry it with a hairdryer right now and show you. Okay, that's completely dry now, and that's the underside. Gel pens over here, even that darker blue purple color, normal pens over here. And you can see there's much more show through with the regular Zebra Sarasa Clip versus the gel pens. So what's happening is, I guess, due to the nature of the gel ink, water or moisture seems to be, especially in this case, completely lifting much of the ink from the paper. The ink has dried and been sitting there on the surface, not absorbed into the paper as with the normal pens. So, yeah, we've gleaned a very useful lesson from that. If you're writing a thank you letter to Grandma after your birthday using a Zebra Sarasa Clip MarbleColor pen, don't then spit on the letter and rub your spit into it with your finger. Resist that urge, as natural as it may seem. But Patrick, I hear you object. Me and my grandma have a very close and affectionate relationship, and spitting on our letters and rubbing the spit into the letters with our fingers is how we share our kisses through the post. Well, okay, so just don't use the gel pens is what I would suggest. Just use maybe not even these, just a normal ballpoint. Here, look. Gwamdma, I love you. Thank you for the... Oh, what did she get me? Albatross. And now, spit. No worries at all there. Grandma's going to love that. I mean, you know, do what you want, you know. Tongue kiss your grandma down the phone line for all I care. I'm just here to help. I'm just trying to help. For Christ's sake. Observant as you are, you also noticed that I inked the moon and cut out stars with... yes, Copic Multiliners as expected, but in brown, not black. Now, don't be misled or rosebud to her friends. Don't be misled. If you want Copic fine liners in a full range of bright colors, like these, what you want are the Copic Multiliner SPs, but the standard Copic Multiliner is available in a limited and somewhat muted range of non-black colors, including this brown, this pink, this burgundy, and a few other colors that I've never come across in the wild in a shop. Still very much intended for line work in manga illustrations, just illustrations that are going to be colored. And I've nothing really to say about that. I just thought you might like to know. I was going to also add a bit of commentary about the drawing composition itself and some connected thoughts and ideas, but Ooh, this video got long enough already, didn't it? So let's save that for another one, maybe. For now, thank you for watching. Remember, you can grab that music. If this is far enough in the future when you're watching this, there might even be a print available of the artwork, probably in my Redbubble shop, if I get my act together. If you liked the video mentally and emotionally, don't forget to also like it physically. Click, click. Actually, no, just, yeah, not 2 clicks, just 1 click. Otherwise, that'll be liking it and unliking it. And that's no good, you big tease. Subscribe. If you trust me, check out my Ko-fi if you love me. And always remember, I enjoyed making this video, you enjoyed watching it, but that doesn't make us friends. Goodbye. Big thanks to all my Ko-fi supporters, especially Hug Dungans, Michael Doorknobs, Gratis Mung, Malemnini, Dr. Hoof, Corgus Hrounge, McBip, Regina Bambina, HMS Ship Prefix, and Piss. Oh, fucking, thank Christ. Fuck's sake!